Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a YouTube version of Change Starts With Us, Ohio. Today, we'd like to share a little bit about what is so wrong with our parole system, at least in Ohio and probably nationally for those states that have a parole board. As many of you know, in Ohio, there's two laws. There's one called Truth in Sentencing, and that was those that were sentenced after July 1st of 1996. None of them had to see the parole board except lifers. Those before 1996, everyone had to see the parole board, no matter what the charge or conviction was. Um, so for those that was doing, say, 15 years, they would do maybe 5 years under the new law. And then the other ones would max out pretty much anywhere from 15 to 25 years. Um, I believe in Ohio we have 11 parole board members. That's over $1 million worth of salary. When our new governor came in, he said he was going to make some big changes to the parole board, and he was going to make it more diverse. That hasn't happened. There's still not very many people getting a parole. They put a former public defender on. We thought that was going to make a difference, and I knew him fairly well. Um, then we have one that is real nasty with his comments towards um, people, and he's not the only one either. But these are the people that the taxpayers are paying for. You guys are paying for those to stay locked up longer than what they should. So many of these folks should have been out 10, 20, 30 years ago. But they're not given that chance or opportunity. Just because the parole board might not like them personally, might not like their conviction, they don't look at the programming, they don't look at any of that. But they bring up tickets or conduct reports that's 20 years old. And the difference between us and so many others is that we do not care about someone's past. It's who they are today. And, that was a philosophy when FTR was started, and it's our philosophy with this group, that we're not going to sit there and pass judgment on someone. But we are going to pray for them, and we do believe that most people can change if they choose to want to. And those that don't change are the few that aren't ready to or like what they're doing criminally, so they're going to continue. But none of that should stop the parole board from taking chances and paroling people, because the majority of the people that were sentenced before 1996 and life was under the new law are least likely to reoffend. Murder and sex offenders are the two least likely. I know the news will kind of say otherwise, but we know what the statistics are. We know the facts, and we know that people can change. But it's really going to be somewhat up to the good people that we have here that um, can work together for change. I'm trying to see if I could Google something up here quickly. I want to see what it says. Okay, pro board inquiries. Okay. Um, let's see. All you have to do is if you're curious about the Ohio Parole Board, you can go to the ODRC website and hit parole. Um, uh, okay, it says I'm just going to read a brief statement. It says the Ohio Revised Code, ORC Section 5149-10, created the Parole Board as a section with the Adult Parole Authority consisting of up to 12 members. Okay, there's 12. I made a mistake. Including the chair. The members are appointed by the director of the DRC and must be qualified by education or experience in correctional work, including law enforcement, prosecution of offenses, advocating the rights of victims of crime, probation, of parole, in law, social work, or in combination of the three categories. Members except the chair and victims representing appointed after September 3rd, 2011 will be subject to term limits of up to 2 6-year terms, which is really ridiculous. Also, they have a victims um, advocate on there. Where is the inmate advocate? We've been fighting that. To direct in the Constitution with the governor must appoint one individual to the board who is a victim of crime, a member of victim's family, or who represents an organization that advocates for the rights of victims of crime. The parole board currently consists of 8 members whose primary statutory duties include conducting release consideration hearings and all parole eligible inmates and posting clemency recommendations to the governor. And then, of course, it goes down. Let me read to you who the pro board members is. Alicia Handwork is the chair. She was appointed to the pro board in January 2013. She began her employment with the Ohio Department of Corrections on the interested compact section. So she's been there for quite a few years. And Captain Kovacs is one that we really need to replace. Ms. Kovacs was appointed to the pro board in January 2003. Joe Broomfield began his career at a youth residential center in 2006. Let's see. Most recently, he was promoted because the director of youth services programs. Okay, he's one of the newer people. Lance Presley has been appointed to the pro board as the victims represented by Mr. President, comes to the pro board with over 15 years of experience. Mark Hark is one of the cruelest pro board members with his behavior towards others. He got appointed to the pro board in 2012, but he's also a former warden of, I believe, Mansfield and other places. Dr. Tracy Reveal, she's been with the pro board since 2015. Scott Wedmore is appointed with the pro board in 2018. Glenn Holmes was appointed to the pro board in 2019. Steve Heron is one of the newest members. He's a public defender. He was appointed in 2018. Lisa Hoying was one that was appointed in 2018 as well. But the problem is with any of these pro board members, nothing has really changed. The same behavior with the pro board. There's no accountability. People are afraid to get involved and implement fair policies that people would get a fair chance. Those that were sentenced before 1996 were supposed to do 2/3 of their sentence before they go to the pro board, and it's hard for me to believe that they would not have been given 15 or 20 years to life if they meant to give them 35 or 40 or in some cases 50 years. And then under the new law, they had to do their minimums, which would be like 15 to life. They had to do 15 years before they go to the pro board. And really, they should have been released at that point, not like I said, 10, 20, 30, 40 years later. A lot of them should have been released by now. So these are policies that need to be changed with the DRC itself. I encourage people to write the director, Annette Chambers Smith. I don't know if she'll be in under the new governor, but Governor DeWine stated he's only going to run one term. I think that Annette Chambers Smith is somewhat open-minded, but I think things that she's tried to implement has been shut down. Not sure exactly who shut it down, but her boss is directly the governor. So these are just some of the things that we as an organization must focus on. Now, our primary goal is wrongful conviction and bringing awareness out, but we can't forget about those that have to see the parole board. And this is where many groups need to come together for change and put aside our differences on what we don't like about that person or this person. And to me, that's very immature. And I fell into that trap before. It's not going to happen anymore. So we welcome all people, no matter what, to work with us, and work for us for change so that our folks don't end up dying in prison because of their ages, how long they've been locked up. This is getting to be ridiculous. Um, you, you know, uh, let's get these guys out early enough that they can still work, support their families, themselves, and whoever they need to support, and they could be a productive citizen. That would make more sense than keeping these people just locked up. We appreciate everyone. Please join our YouTube channel, and let's network together. Let's work together. Our phone number is 380-799-3868. Our email is change starts with us Ohio at gmail.com, or the president's is change starts with us Ohio Candace at gmail.com. Our website is www.changestartswithusohio.org. Have a great day, everyone.